This is wishing everyone a very happy Diwali 2023. May Goddess Lakshmi come into your homes, to your, increase your wealth, well wishes, welfare, everything. It's a festival of light, festival of goodness. And every year, everyone has Diwali picks. So this year I thought maybe I should pick up my Diwali 11, and going by the cricket fever going on right now in the country with the cricket World Cup, so decided to make a Diwali 11 this time of stocks. Now I know some of you will be thinking why there is no auto sector participation or cement or chemical, which were leaders in the last couple of years, or IT, or for that matter metal media. The reason is it's not that I'm not bullish on stocks from those sectors in particular. It's just that they did not make it into the top 11. Of course, there are some stocks in those which are looking exceptionally good, but I somehow found that these were the stocks where my interest appeared high. And so I want to share what I see in them from a Diwali investment point of view. Okay. So before I go into each of the stocks one by one, this is the breakup of those stocks. Now, out here, for those who are, I'll just break it up: stock, sector, price, market cap of these stocks. So you know whether it's a large cap, mid cap, or a small cap stock. The TTM stands for trailing 12-month peg ratio of these stocks. The lower the peg ratio, the more chances of it being undervalued at the current moment. Return on equity, then the shareholding, and in the last column is the non-promoter large shareholding of the stocks in each case, which I was able to find from the data available to me. Now, before I go ahead, a disclaimer: this is under no circumstances a trading advice. This is just an educational video. It's a Diwali time, and I'm sharing what I see in the following stocks purely from a medium to long term investment point of view. This is not a trading perspective video. If you are looking for extreme short term trading ideas, then please do not move ahead in these cases. And of course, before you attempt to, either in case you want to buy any of these, please do your study properly with due diligence to the risk involved in case they go wrong. So with that, let's start with the stocks one by one. So the first on the list is Aurobindo Pharma. Now, Aurobindo Pharma is into the marketing and manufacturing of API generic pharma. It is India's second largest pharma company and the largest generic company in the US. It has a high Piotrowski score of on return of equity and on net profit growth. It has a very low debt. Promoters have the bad part, what negative part would be that the promoters have increased their pledge, and as per the balance sheet data, the company could be capitalizing on interest cost currently. So with that, now let's shift to what the charts are saying now. Because we are looking at something from a medium to long term perspective, I would like to start with the quarterly time frame charts, and here you can see from its listing time, 2000 now onwards, 99, 2000 a low. And after that, the stock has gradually made higher lows in the quarterly chart. You can see higher lows happening right throughout. And, higher lows, higher highs. Good phenomena for a strong company with a rising trend. So good sign from that angle point of view, where you are looking at a bigger picture. So in the quarterly charts also, what I noticed was that the stock is, one second, please. Yeah. In the year 2023, January, this, the entire rally from 2008, even if I consider this as a part of this rally, the 2020 COVID dip, apart even from that, it was a 88% retracement of the full move, and from there it was quite a deep correction. If you go to see from April 21 to January 23, that's 2 years, almost 2 years of a steep correction which took place, and from there we've had a jolly good rally. And in fact, if you try to see a bit before that, the move which came was not too much. So rather from 2014, a dip till 2020, then again a rise for a period of 1 year only, and then again a decline coming like that for 2 years. So technically from 2014 till 2023, the investors did not make much money in it. It was like a net negative scenario, especially for anyone after 2024. And prior to that, it was yielding very low. But of course, that the stock has given a phenomenal move, and we can all see that from the charts also. And in my view, that this 9 year period of sideways time-wise correction could lead to a longer time phase of upward move as per the Ichimoku study of time. Now, the in the quarterly chart, the major support is at 675, now trading at 975 currently. Let's go to the monthly chart and see the scenario. Monthly also similar. And if we ignore the wick, which we should not, the wicks of the COVID lows, then the bottom, the lows were never violated on a closing basis. You can see the March 2020 low, the April 2020 open, the January 2023 low, and the February 23 open are almost identically placed at 400. So the whatever happened below that was like a flash up down movement taking place out there, and a good rally from there. Now, as per Ichimoku, above the cloud, future Kumo bullish, slanting nicely up. Yes, still below its 2021 high, which is somewhere here. And therefore, some possible consolidation could be a factor in near that zone before it tries to breach above it as the days progress. Out here, support in this case at 730 odd levels to 670, which was also in the quarterly charts. Now, in the weekly, we have a phenomenally strong candle last week, and very strong candle slanting upward, like I said, very close to the monthly highs out here of 1040. You can see the pullback strength which has come in that extremely strong. This lengthy period of consolidation has resulted in a sharp candle. And if we just try to picturize the same thing of what happened in the quarterly chart, where we've seen something like this and then the recovery. So if something similar is happening, it has moved above this wall, something similar could also happen in the low weekly time frame. So here also the support is quite high at 850 and then around 785 or possible 7, I would say 725 in that case. In the daily time frame, like I said, weekly very strong. Daily has also shown you some phenomenal strong upward move, breaking above this zone of 925. So the daily support at 915 to 815. So these are our support areas where, like I said, since it's an Diwali time, we are looking at investments from a longer horizon. So a SIP zone for a stock like this would be on the downward side all the way, I would say, till 825 to 750 odd level. This would be the area where I would be on the downward, increasing my SIP, and on the upper side. Now let's try to find out the possible upside scenarios, keeping in mind this 2008 to 2023 rally which took place, and what should be our upside possible targets for such a case out here. So as per pure Fibonacci, and going by the thing that the stock continues to make higher highs and higher lows out here, I would be looking at the pure Fibonacci 1x, 1.27, 1.6 onwards, up to these levels of 1230, 1450, 1745. And of course, it can still further move up towards the upper trend line, depending on how much time it takes to reach that level. How much is we have to see how the sector overall is doing. And pharma is doing pretty good now for that point, from that point of view. So very strong stock, and with ability to do a lot more. One should look at longer term horizon for addition of SIPs all the way or down till say 750, that's $200 lower. In case, due to any conditions of global tremors or pharma sector news or anything, pullbacks would be good to add more. And on the upside, I would continue to be looking to adding till say 1075. So $100 on the upside would be my SIP range, to 200 on the downside for possible strong upsides in this stock in the coming medium to long term basis for the stock. Now that's Aurobindo Pharma for you. Now let's move to the next stock, which is Avenue Supermart or DMart, and let's analyze what lies ahead for that. Now, DMart is fairly new to listing, 2017, but you can see even in the quarterly charts, it's done something exceptionally one. Radhakishan, the money promoted company, DMart, it's a national level supermarket chain. They have 336 stores across the country. It follows the cluster band of expansion, keeping a low cost structure because of its primary presence in the west and south of India. It has 5 subsidiaries: Align Retail Trade, Avenue Food Plaza, Avenue E-Commerce, Nagar Seth and Jogan Developers, and Reflect Healthcare and Retail. It is almost debt-free, and it has been delivering a steady sales growth in the last 5 years. However, in the last 3 years, the return of equity is low at 12.5%. We've seen the consumption story, especially in 2023, seeing a kind of a pullback, and that's why that's being reflected in the charts right now. So if we look at the monthly chart out here, you can see that from before the COVID low, this was one stock which did not correct much during the COVID time. So I'm going to the April 2018, Feb 2002, the May 2019, where this was sideways and all. And overall, looking at the trajectory, that it's at a 50-55% retracement of that. It is next to a very strong bullish cloud support out here and looks like a kind of a triangle to me in the formation out here. A triangle, which is for those new to charts and all that, a triangle is something which means that the stock is doing a time-wise correction more than price-wise. So price-wise retracement is not that great, but yes, time-wise the stock is underperforming the current market trend or its overall trend in the current scenario. So to me, it looks like something which could be getting into the consolidation for a much bigger move. Now, the resistance for the stock is at 4,200 and then a bigger one at 4,575, quite high. But once that is taken out for this stock, it opens up for 6,000 to a possible 6,500, 700 in the coming months or probably a year or two, in that way, for the stock to be quite bullish. Wherein lies the support? Right now, at this level, the support is there, 3,350 to 3,350. In case there is a violation of the 3350 area, then the pullback could be slightly deeper, all the way to 2675 odd levels. You can see the weekly support was out here, 2575 to 2650. So that would be my area of extreme, at valuations which are extremely cheap would be that. So I would like to do a SIP in this case in a broader range. On the upside, I would keep my SIP till 4,500. On the downside, I would be more aggressive till 33. Below that, I would reduce the aggressiveness so that my accumulation can take place in the stock all the way down to 2550. Upward basis, yes, I will be aggressive on the upside also for the stock. So that's the more aggressive zone for me, and a less aggressive zone all the way down to 2550, where I will be again picking up the stock, but in smaller tranches, so that I have no further time is going to take for a turnaround for it. So overall, um, right now in a sideways correction with potential to go quite high up, it's just one could be looking at it in a range breakout above 45, 45, 4600, or in a scenario where things get bad, like we said, things could get bad globally or due to any other major reason, and keep those levels for future in mind also in this case. Again, it is not for trading, it's purely an investment, a solid flagship company, and where one could know that yes, the company has a strong potential to grow as time continues with it. So now that's the second stock. Now let's go to the third stock. We've done our two stocks. Now this I have been doing totally on alphabetical order. It's not on any other preference or any other way. So the next one I have on the screen is Bajaj Hindustan Sugar. So let's check that out. Now, Bajaj Hindustan Sugar is a manufacturer, as the name goes, of sugar, alcohol, ethanol, and a generation of power. It's a leading processor of sugar processing and manufacturing of ethanol in India. It has 14 sugar plants, in India, and 6 distilleries and 14 co-generation plants. It has currently it has 2 environmental cases pending in the Supreme Court and 4 cases in the Pollution Control Board with 2 show-cause notices also upon them. The other factor which could be negative is negative for this current scenario is that the promoters have pledged their entire holding. 100% is currently pledged. Now, let's try to understand what the charts are telling us of Bajaj Hindustan Sugar. Now, this is a monthly chart. And you can see what kind of a volatile stock this has been from the 2000 pricing all the way to 400. That's in 2008. Then after that, the sugar sector slump, which took around 12 years from 4,000 back to a new look. So it broke this, and there was what do you call financial crisis in the company, etc. And from there, the turnaround in the stock charts, not about the financials of the company, in the stock charts, has taken place, and where we have seen kind of a progress of again low, higher low, higher low, high, higher high formations happening in the quarterly chart. So sound progress taking place from the lows so far in the stock. Yes, if you look at the 2002 to 2008 rally, that's huge green candles, as you can see out here. This time it's not like that. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, which is quite a decent one. Now, as per Ichimoku, it is at a huge quarterly Kumo resistance, trying to penetrate into that wall currently in the quarterly charts. And quarterly charts this time will end in December. Now, let's have a look at the monthly. Now, before we go that way, let's talk about the resistance, which is, support in the monthly, which is as low right now at $19 to $15. The resistance, once it gets into this cloud zone above 40, it takes a push all the way to 60, 100, and then probably 200 odd. But again, quarterly charts, not a quick return kind of scenario. Now, let's have a look at the monthly chart. Now, if you notice one thing in the monthly chart out here, that when it was trying to, in the corrective phase, this level of 32, 33 stopped it, it went up, broke it on the downside, again tried to go above that same level, failed to go up, came down, now back at that same zone. So kind of a resistance right now. Okay, line of polarity for the stock. The further strength of this stock would occur if it manages to close above this level of 3260, this horizontal line on a monthly chart. Since this is monthly, November 30th close above this would give it much more stronger legs for this move, which could probably take it all the way to 60, 100, 175, because that's where those next lines of resistance are there for the stock. So the upside, definitely something I would be looking at for decent uh, medium to long term returns come into the picture there. Now, what if this level is not taken out right now and it tends to do a pullback or a consolidation? Where should we look for uh, levels to do? Up to which level would I be looking at an SIP zone? So that comes down to 23 in the monthly chart. 23 to 15 is what, quite far away currently, but not necessarily a stock visits that zone. And on the down in the weekly chart, we can see 25 to again 15. So clearly 15 is one area which is where a lot of investors would be looking at. So 23 is one crucial area. So for me, it's a zone up to 23 on the downward where I would be doing SIPs 23, 24. Anything sustaining below that, then I would resume my SIPs near the 15 zone. And on the upside, I would continue to do an SIP in it till 40, because that would give me more validation that yes, it has potential to go up. I would not get aggressive above between 32 to 40 unless it's a monthly close. Supposing now November is going on, it starts trading above that zone, but November 30th, the candle closes below this horizontal line, then that higher costing could impact me for a longer period of time. So I'll be mildly aggressive in that zone, more aggressive till 23 for the time being. Looks extremely in a zone of a sweet spot where a big turnaround could happen and would give you a higher probability of medium to long term scenario. Again, not for trading. I know right now the entire sugar sector has seen a lot of buzz, as we can see out here, but I don't want to look at it from such a small period point of view. So that's Bajaj Hindustan for us, a small cap sugar stock. The next one is BHEL, the PSU Navratna, and let's see what it's telling us. Now, BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Navratna government stock is a flagship company which is into the integrated power plant manufacturing on design, engineering, testing, installation, commission, servicing in the various industries, that is power transmission industry, transportation industry, renewable energy, oil and gas, and defense. It accounts for 53% of the total capacity of India's utility power projects. It has a very healthy dividend payout of 20%. The company, the negative part, the fundamentals, what they are telling us is that the company has had a poor sales growth over the last 5 years. Now, let's have a look at the charts and see. Now, again, in the quarterly charts, you can see what a phenomenal roller coaster ride the stock has had. First from 95, a dip to 2000, then a roller coaster ride to 2008, and then a 12-year decline. So 12 years of decline, and right now we've just into the third year of rally. The previous rally was 8 years. Then we had a 12-year decline. And prior to that, a very short phase of rally was 1 year, and then again a 4-year decline took place in it, like that. So right now we are just into 3 years of rally, or rather 4 years, early 22, if we consider it that way, 4 years of rally are ending. So a lot of potential for the stock in terms of time as a investor getting into it at current stages or even in an SIP zone. Now, at the quarterly Kumo wall, that's why this lengthy period from October, where it has yet to penetrate above it. If it manages to get above inside this cloud and push its way up, the next major wall is at 160 to 185. So 160 to 200. So from current 130, once it starts pushing its way up, 160 looks no wall before that, and then straight near 190, 200. Above that, another rocket move possible towards 285. So very strong upside probabilities. Of course, not something which could be taken off right away. On the downside, where is the quarterly support? It's all the way near 85. There's a lot of consolidation in this zone, as we can see in the weekly charts. We can also see that this was a trend line breakout. So that trend line resistance is also near 175 in the coming uh, months or quarters, we can say. And if you draw a Fibonacci of this current move, one can see the possible projections which would come at, say, at 320, 30, 415, 525 from a long-term uh, trend continuation, keeping in mind that the correction has been for a 12-year period. So we need to give it a lot more time uh, in the uptrend in this case. So in the hourly time, in the monthly time frame, we can see a bullish ABCD prayer which took place out here, and now it's also done another harmonic bullish seahorse breakout, which is almost done its breakout target from a harmonic point of view. Now the upside resistance for the stock, if is near in the monthly near that 175, which is again the quarterly resistance, and then 280, which we also spotted in the charts. Now, where is the support? The first support is at 110, 105, a bigger one sitting at 95, but the huge one at 70. This 80, 70 wall is something which is phenomenal for the stock. Let's have a look at the weekly charts. Trading very well with a support at 110. Next one down all the way to 92.75. This trend line, in case this breakout does a pullback, then that comes to around 70 bucks. So again, from a SIP point of view, I would be doing more aggressive on the downward till 80. Till 80, 70, I would be doing a lot more SIPs downward. On the upside, yes, I would be more careful near 170, 75. I would do, say, something like 140, which is this current high out here, 148.50 till there. And after that, I would wait for a breach above 175, keep adding more accordingly for this strong stock. Again, opportunities to add as and when the scenario comes. A healthy dividend paying stock with a appears to me like a which has a very bright future ahead of it in the coming quarters or months, as years as you can put. So that's BHEL for you. Now let's go to the next stock in alphabetical order, Canara Bank. Canara Bank, PSU bank, was founded in the year 1906, so almost 117 years done for it. It has four subsidiaries: Canara Robeco, Canara Bank Securities, Canara HSBC, OBC Life, and Canfin Homes, which is also listed. After its merger with Syndicate Bank, it is now India's fourth largest PSU bank. There's a dividend payout of 3.1% and has seen a profit growth of 37 CAGR over the last 5 years. The negative part in the financial is the last 3 years, there's a low return on equity, and the stock, from a positive angle, has made it to the Benjamin Graham value screener. So a strong potential for it. Now let's have a look at the charts. Now again, quarterly chart has managed to push above its very, very bearish cloud in the quarterly chart and trying to make its way above. So 425 on a quarterly chart look like a kind of a wall. And if you notice it here, first attempt, second attempt, one more attempt here. So all these attempts had not been able to breach over it. So maybe in that zone, we might see some consolidation and then a proper breakout. While even the future Kumo has still not turned bullish in the Ichimoku scenario. So some consolidation should not be ruled out for this stock, or smallish pullback. So where is the support for it in the quarterly chart? 375 appears too close. I would put it a little bit below, near 335. These candles out here, 330, 35, which are solid supports in the, and below that 300. So 335, 330 to 300 solid support zones for the stock if there is a consolidation. Resistance at 430 odd, and then 525 and a lot more. So again, if you look at the charts from 2003 rally till 2010, that's a 7-year rally, and then a 10-year correction. So 7 years, 10 years, and now just into 4 years of pullback, a rally or a pullback we are talking about. So even in terms of time, there is a good potential for the stock to continue what could be a very good uptrend. And PSU banks have shown that kind of strength compared to private banks. And this, of course, there are other PSU banks which are also, I feel, exceptionally good. But in my list, like I said, I had restricted it to 11 stocks, and this is what I found to be better. This doesn't mean that the others are not good. They could also be rank outperformance. So here in the monthly also, you can see 430 odd is a kind of a block. There's support at 290 to 260, very solid support zone for the stock. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly support at 330 and then 280. So 330 to 300 would be an area where I would be very cleanly looking on the downward to add it, and on the upward till 435. And if it starts giving you monthly closes above that, then it's a super strong, you could do a lot more. Now, in the monthly chart, it has a bullish harmonic reversal, which took place in 2020, a monthly bullish harmonic. After that, it's also given a bullish harmonic seahorse breakout, which has a projection at around 500 for it. So stock can continue to try to push its way up like that. Let's have a look at the quarterly charts again and try to project a long-term scenario with the probability that yes, it can push its way above 425, 30 to 500 and a lot more. So just doing a projection of the 2003 to 2010 Fibonacci trend extension, we are getting 700, 800 to 1,000 as probabilities for a big long-term scenario. Again, not for trading. It doesn't mean that the stock will go all the way there like non-stop. No, stocks do tend to have their cycles and periods of pullback and all that. As an investor, we look for levels to add value additions in such stocks. So that was Canara Bank, which is the 5th stock I've covered. Now let's talk about the 6th one, which is Emami Ltd. Now, Emami is into the manufacturing and marketing of FMCG products. It has 450 plus Ayurvedic formulations with a presence in 70 countries. It has 10 subsidiaries. It has an extremely low debt, and promoter pledge has been found to be decreasing over the last 1 year odd. However, there has been a decline in their operating profit margins. Again, consumption story has been a bit dip in the last 1 year. And also the stock is impacted by any adverse monsoon. Okay, if the monsoon is not good, the El Nino impact takes place. So the stock gets hit by that. Now, let's see the charts. Now, in the quarterly charts, you can see from 2007-8, a dream run till 2018, 11-year move, and then a correction for 2 years, 2018 to 2020, and then again a super duper rally, which just saw some pullback from July 21 till March or Feb of 22, and then a fabulous start of a new rally in Emami. Structure-wise, again, if we look at it as this as a higher, this as the low, higher low, not considering this right now, just from this base, upward projection, which is taking place from here, then the stock has a potential on the upside of 800, 950 to 1,000. And even if I take from the 2000 eight lows to the highs and projected. Then too, we have a projection which is going to 750, 900, 700. And of course, it could do a lot more over the next few years if the company continues to do well financially also strongly. So strong upside possible with an immediate resistance at 600. Okay, 600 is not that easy to breach. We've seen attempt one, two, three, almost there on the fourth one, 585. So this is what would be a big breakthrough if it does manage to sustain above that 600 level. Where's the support in the quarterly chart? The first support is at 400 at 500. Below that, it's a thin one, but I would take it a bit more lower to be more cautious around 400. So 100 points gaps between quarterly chart major supports. Let's look at the monthly chart. Again, has been sideways for quite some time now. In the monthly chart, you can see trying to pull back. Future Puma superbly bullish, taking a very good Ichimoku support out here, trying to break above this line out here, this trend line which you can see out here, more clearly visible in the monthly chart. Will be a phenomenal breakout if it does that. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that. The monthly support is at 475 and then at 375. So quite matching with the quarterly chart right now. The weekly support at 475, again 400. So for me, the SIP in the stock is on the upside, definitely 600. I would stretch to even 625 because it would be a breakout on the upside. And on the downside, I will be doing more aggressive till 375 as dips happen in it, because potential to rally for the stock looks quite good from the structure of the Ichimoku chart patterns as well as from Ichimoku point of view in this case. So that's Emami, a FMCG stock for you. Let's do stock number 7 now, which is Glenmark. So Glenmark is into generic pharma, specialty pharma and ETC with its presence in 80 plus countries. Its business is divided into 3 separate entities: Glen Pharma, uh, Ichnos Science, and Glen Life Science, where it has recently announced to divest 75% of its stake to Nirma at 615 rupees. It has a zero promoter pledge. It has shown growth in operating profit margins quarter on quarter, has extremely low debt, but however, there seems to be the company seeing a decreasing cash flow in the last 2 years. Now let's have a look at the charts and try to understand what is Glen Pharma doing in the quarterly charts. Quarterly charts trying to push its way above the cloud. But before that, let's do the study from the 2000 lows to a phenomenal rally till 2015 and then a dip till 2020. So 15-year rally followed by a 5-year correction, and now into 4th year. So good potential, again, time-wise for the stock. And if I try to look at it slightly bigger, then 2008 to 2020 looks like a corrective phase to me, because this is more of a sideways scenario. So 8 years of upside, 12 years of sideways, and we're just into 4 years right now. So huge potential for the stock, again, in terms of time for upside as per the Ichimoku theory. Resistance at 960 to 75. Future Puma still not bullish. That's why this consolidation in the quarterly charts taking place. But the stock is making higher lows. So if I take this low, higher low, high, higher high out here, and trying to push its way on the upside from here. Where's the support for the stock? If it further slips down around 660, 650 to, I would say, possible 550. Again, due to any adverse conditions, we would look at deeper support from that point of view for a long-term horizon. In the monthly, it is trying to break up. Yes, above 970 here also. A good breakout can come for the stock. It has got good support at 650 and then a bigger one at 450 odd. So my SIP zone downward aggression would be till 650 to 475, slightly deeper, but I would be content all the way to 550 with aggression also in this case. Uh, and then I would see whether, yes, I need to push on its way down or not. Now, in the monthly, the reaction has happened due to a bearish harmonic ABCD. So, ideal time for a pullback, and a pullback where one could add on the dip down. So advantage from a fresh entry point of view, or the SIP would get aggressive for me above 970, where I see a potential, which I'll just go back to the quarterly charts for that. And if supposing the aggression, I would do the aggression till 550, then wait for 475 and then look for another turnaround if my reading till there goes wrong in the stock from that point of view. Okay, now let's have a look at the weekly to get a more clearer SIP zone for the stock at a very good support, 725 out here. Failure to hold this, yeah, it could come down to 650, 600, which matches with our higher time frame scenario. Now, where could be the potential upside for the stock? 1000 is a short term scenario, like bigger ones 1400, 1375, 1700 to 2000, keeping in mind that the stock could continue to rally for the next few years also. So, good areas to add for, hopefully, for a good multi-bagger scenario, or rather a good compounding return for us. So that's Glenmark for you. Now let's move to the next stock, which is also a pharma stock, which is Ipca Laboratories. Now, Ipca Laboratories, I had also covered earlier in my YouTube channel in the month of May 2023. Link to that is there in the description box if one would like to revisit that one also. Now, you can see from its listing back in 2020, stock has had a steady rally, no issues at all. Even the Ichimoku quarterly charts was only troubled once in this zone. And after that, decent rallies, decent pullbacks. And also, if you notice, the stock tends to do a deeper retracements all the time. You can see a deeper retracement, deeper retracement, deeper retracement, and then it catapults into a stronger rally out here. And now, hopefully, what if history was to repeat itself, then we could be emulating something like this for another rally up in the case of Ipca Labs. Now, let's have a look at the Ichimoku point of view. So, bounced from a very strong support, 775, and trying to push its way on the upside. Uh, let's have a look at the monthly chart at a kind of a wall out here, and it could take some time to push its way above. It's not going to be that easy. We need a bullish crossover. We need clear breakout above the cloud. So resistance, I would mark all the way to 1300 on the upside in this case. And the support in this case is all the way down to uh, probably to 800 bucks right now. So equidistant support and resistance in the monthly charts currently. Let's have a look at the weekly chart. Now, in the weekly chart, there was a bullish harmonic reversal which took place in the month of end May, early June for 675 to give a super duper more than 62% of the retracement which has done, the stock has done. And now at this wall, this is the monthly resistance of around 1060 bucks, 50 bucks out here. So it needs to push its way up all the way above 1100, 20, 25. So that's my SIP on the upside gradually. On the downside, I would be doing aggressive SIP. In this case, all the way down to 850 to 775 odd. That would be my zone to keep looking for additions in the stock. Now, what would be my potential upside target from a medium to long term point of view would be 1800 21, 2,500. So not a short-term uh, outlook. Again, looking at something where I can uh, add as an investor, compound for such strong stocks. And the last retracement which came from the 21 high to the 23 low is a 62% number, which is a very strong Fibonacci number, along with a bullish harmonic reversal. So looking for similar kind of catapult moves over the next few quarters or years in the case of Ipca Labs also. So that's Ipca Lab for you. Get another pharma stock. So next one is Oil India. So now let's see what Oil India is showing to us. Oil India is engaged into the exploration, production, and transport of oil and gas. It has 60 blocks in India, majority in Assam, and 12 overseas. It also owns a 5% stake in Indian Oil Corporation, currently trading at a book value of 0.83 and showing good growth in profit since the last 5 years. It has a high Petroski score and has come into the Benjamin Franklin Value Screener also. So it's very strong fundamental scenario for Oil India. Now, Oil India did a massive breakout in July 2021. You can see that trend line in the quarterly chart. Huge breakout. Breakout rallied till April 22, then a pullback, revisit of the trend line, and then a resumption of an uptrend. So ideal breakout, pullback, resumption of uptrend stock doing very well. Yes, quarterly charts have seen some sell-off from a Fibonacci resistance of 330 odd right now. So where is the support in the quarterly charts? Quite deep, around 225 odd level in the quarterly charts. Let's look at the monthly chart. The support for the monthly chart is also near 275 to 225 for me right now. Let's look at the weekly charts. Weekly chart support at 270, 280, and then a big one at 225 odd again. So 225 on the downside. Yes, $75 away, no doubt about it. But that's the way I would be looking for additions on the downside. On the upside, up to the high, say $10 more, 350 is what I will be looking at. The potential for the medium term is 380 to 440 and could do a lot more. Again, a stock, if you look at the history of the stock from 2008 to 2020, that's another 12 years of corrective downward phase, has just exploded. So in terms of time, stock phenomenal upside. And even if we consider a lower time zone, 2014 to 2020, that's 6 years. So still 2 more years of a stock which could continue to lead its up move from here also. And energy stocks are buzzing right now. And let's see how well this done. PSUs particularly, we've seen a phenomenal performance from HAL, PFC, RECL, and so on. And even this one, if you go to see comparatively in terms of yield, it has not done that much as they have, which was in the derivative and which we see more regularly. But this one too has, in my reading, potential. This one tends to move and does a similar kind of move like what ONGC does. So if you have a habit of looking at ONGC or studying that, you can reflect the stock along with that. So that's Oil India for us. Next one, again, another pharma one from my side. Pharma looks like the most strongest sector to me. Is Shilpa Medicare. So let's study that one next. Now, Shilpa Medicare I had covered in my earlier video again in May 2023. The link to the video is there in the description box if you want to go and check that video out also. Now, it is one of the leading API formulation and therapeutic areas in oncology. And looks like a company which has got huge potential again to me on the upside. Let's have a look at the charts again out here and see. This is the low of 2012. And from there to 2018, that's a good 7-year rally, 6 to 7 year rally. then a 2 year, more than 2 years, rather from 2018 till 2023. So that's another 4, 5 years of correction. So if we go by the time frame of upside and downside, the new up move could be a much more stronger potential in terms of time for us. So it's very early into the turnaround out here. Now, the other factor which I would like to point out is that the retracement from the lows of 2011 to the highs of uh, 2016, 5 years, and then here is 78%. And after that, like I said, triangle formation likely taking place in the stock, and triangles are time-wise corrective, not in terms of price. That depth takes place. So more of a triangle scenario could take place where it could go somewhere here, then again come somewhere here, and then give us a huge upside possibility in the coming years in that case, uh, depending on the levels of the triangle which play under it. Now, in the quarterly chart, the resistance is at 450, then at 450 all the way to 555, where this and then this trend line resistance at 650. If like I said, if it goes up, does a pullback again down, say towards 350, and then again goes up. So a huge area of time to be spent. But once it breaks out after its triangle gets over in this chart, which we can also view in the monthly time frame, one can see that the potential for the upside is like it came down from 700 to 200. So that would be a breakout of 500 whenever the trend line is broken on the upside. So it could be something like 1100 to 1200 in the coming quarters or years for the stock. Won't happen again so fast, will take its own sweet time. So gives you a lot more opportunity to do SIP in it from a broader picture point of view. So resistance 450 in the monthly to 575, downward support at 245 odd levels. In this case, if it fails to hold the 200, then the triangle is invalidated. Then the picture gets violated. Then the next support is at 100. So I'm banking on the probability that this is a triangle which will do a lot of some time pass over the next few months in this zone, and then you know in this zone, and then give me a kind of up move like that. So my accumulation zone and SIP would be from on the upside till 525 and on the downside till 300. So wider range on the upside, lower 75 bucks odd on the downside for that kind of an up move was possible. Again, not a trading idea, not going to try to trade a large potential stocks like this. Will rather use opportunities to keep it on the horizon for compounding angle point of view. Even in the weekly, very strong support at 325, 300, resistance building around 500 in this case for the stock. Now that's Shilpa Medicare for you, the 10th one. Now the 11th and the last one is South Indian Bank. So let's check that out. Now, South Indian Bank is a small private bank. It has 926 branches in India, with over 50% of them in the state of Kerala. The customer base of 70 lakh customers. Its loan book is divided into corporate share 30%, business loans 27%, personal loans 23%, and agri loans around 20. Currently trading at 0.77 on times of its book value. It is in the last 5 years has a CAGR of 18.3% on its profit growth. But it has of late been seeing a declining net cash flow. The stock has made it into the Benjamin Graham value screener. So again, value buying stock coming in front of us. Now let's have a look at the monthly chart of the stock since its listing in 1999. And you can see from 99 all the way to 2018, phenomenal rally. That's a huge 19 years of rally. Then a pullback for 2 years. Then now from there, we've seen the stock push its way up, push its way up. Now stock's trying to make a higher low formation, higher low, higher high formation. Now, wherein lies the resistance for this stock? The resistance is at 30 to a nearby 33, which is all-time high for the stock. The highest monthly quarterly closing is 29 and a half. So for me, the upside resistance is there currently. Where is the support? The support is all the way at 21 and a half. And then below that at 18. 18 looks like a rock solid support. The quarterly future Kumo still not turned bullish. So some period of accumulation, slow rally could be a possibility for the stock going forward. Now let's look at the monthly chart. Future Kumo bullish. Yes, the resistance at 3150 out here. That's why the pause. Support, solid one at 21, 22, then 19. And if I will look at a tight scenario, come down to 15, 16 in that case, or say 17. Weekly charts, support at 22, and then a huge one all the way down to 16, odd level, 16, 15. So in all possibilities, we are looking at a support base of major one between 16 to 18 and a earlier one at 22. So pricing at 24, I would be doing my SIP in this case aggressively till 20 odd level, 2021 out here, and 20, rather 19. And then I would wait in case it slips below that till 17, 18 to again review it for the possible up move. If it by chance, global cues become horrible in this case and it trips and it fails below 13, then it could be in trouble all the way to 8, 9. So the ideal closer would be around 14 for the stock, like that. In case of the stock was bad, just below 14 out here, because I can see a support here at 13 and a half. So 13 and a half is what I would be keeping a tight watch in the monthly, on a monthly basis on the down. On the up till 32. Now, what could be our projected upside? Again, just looking at the Fibonacci of the stock, if we go by what it has done from the long-term point of view, the stock has potential for 35, 40, 55 in the coming quarters to years. And if I just, yeah, 35, 40, these are the levels I would be looking for, 45, 50, 62 accordingly. Again, I would be not going aggressive at one go, not a trading idea under any circumstances, but a value compounding buy for me in the coming years or quarter, where I can hold to such a phenomenal bank which has a huge presence in the south of India and established name out there. So any growth of economy, anything keeps getting better, the bank with its regional impact would be doing also equally well going forward. So again, a disclaimer, this is not a trading advice. This is a pure educational video. There could be 101 other stocks from different sectors or from the same sector also, which could be exceptionally better than this. And some of these might not do well also. So please do your due diligence, your research properly, your thorough study, respect your levels, and do your risk management accordingly, and then only invest for a compounding wealth creation future. With that, I end this video. I hope this is of help to you. So please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and also share this video. And once again, happy Diwali, everyone. Bye-bye, and happy investing.